Hey beautiful people, welcome back to our channel and thank you so much for joining the channel today. So if this is your first time, please do not forget to subscribe, and if you are new, please give this video a like because the video is going to be a very detailed one, and I think it has to be like this so that others can learn. Like I said, it's going to be a very detailed one, and others can learn from it as well. But today let's go to a country in Europe, and this country I'm talking about is called the Czech Republic. Many people have been asking me in the past, Milton, if you can advise me, can you tell me or advise someone to go to the Czech Republic? And my answer has always been yes. Then some other group of people are always like, Milton, can you advise me to go to Asia, like to Thailand, Vietnam? For me, Thailand and Vietnam, in fact Vietnam is a no-go area, Thailand is another no-go area. But of course, I can always just say it. If you really think that that is where you want to start from, excellent. But if you come to me, I will always tell you no, I'm not in support of that. So that is my stand, because I've had a lot of experiences. It's better you save more money and go to where you are. Of course, visa is always going to be hard to get, but you can always try. Okay, let's get back to Czech Republic now. We are going to be talking about this country in Europe, and Czech Republic is, I think Czech Republic should be around 6 million people. I'm not very certain, but it is a great country to study in. Let's just go to how the application process works, the documentation, the schools, the visa, and so many other details. But before we even talk about the Czech Republic, I want to tell you that there are other videos on the channel that can equally help you migrate abroad. So you just need to check the channel well, then you decide on which one you want to or where you want to go. Because if you check the channel very well, you will notice that many of my content is only all about study abroad. So no matter where you want to go, you always have materials to read, all right, or to watch and understand. Now remember, application always starts in the Czech Republic from the month of November towards December, January, February, March. This is for September intake I'm talking about. So if you haven't applied up till now, then you should prepare yourself and apply from the month of November, December, January, February. Always check within this time. Most of the schools will always be open. Then also some applications may not start towards this time. Some may have to start around February, some maybe March or April. I am talking about September intake. Okay, I hope you understand. Now let's take a look at some of the schools in the Czech Republic. Most schools in Czech Republic would offer you funding to study. Now I'm not talking only about those people who are going to do PhD or international students who are going to do PhD, but I'm also talking about some certain group of master's students. It all depends on the university. They might give you some money called accommodation fee. They can be giving you, like most of the schools, all right, they always give students accommodation fee. Usually give a little monthly stipend, but at the end of the day, it's usually money to sustain you. It's not like partial funding, it's not like full funding, but at the end of the day you will still get this money. So please put that into consideration. Then also understand that most of the schools are affordable in the Czech Republic. That's even the main reason why I'm talking about this, because to those who cannot afford the UK, US, Canada, Australia, Germany, because of bank statement, lack of money, a blocked account, and all those things, you should be looking at the Czech Republic. But one thing you should also understand is that it is not going to be easy. Nothing is easy. I see some people on the comment section, they are like, Milton, the process is not easy. Nothing, absolutely nothing is easy now in life. So if you really want to succeed, please put in the work, and let's hope that the universe blesses your work. Also understand that when you are doing your application, you should consider the address section. They always ask you to put in your address when you are doing application to the Czech Republic. So always make sure you fill the correct address or the post office in your country. The reason why I'm insisting on this is because at the end of the day, during your admissions letter would be sent to that address. But there is a process that will lead you to your admissions letter, which I'm going to talk about that very soon. But your admissions letter would come to that address. So you need to be super vigilant when you are doing your application online. Okay, then some schools do not have application fee in the Czech Republic, while others also have application fee in the Czech Republic. I think very few schools in the Czech Republic do not have application fee, but others do have an application fee. So get ready to pay an application fee. If I were you, I will prepare and apply to many schools as possible. There was a time I did a post and someone said, I think I said in that post that on that post I said you should always budget money to apply to many schools, and someone came to that post and said, oh, paying 100 euros to 7 schools is not easy, 8 schools is not easy. Look, first of all, study abroad is a choice. If you really want to succeed, you have to invest. That is the truth. And again, Czech Republic, or let me say the schools in the Czech Republic, they are not that expensive. The application fee are usually not that heavy. I think there are some with 30 euros, 40 euros, 50 euros, and you are good to go, right? Yeah, so you should always check that. But understand that most of the schools like Hradev, Kralov, do not charge an application fee, something like that. So please put that into consideration. It's so important. There are private schools in the Czech Republic and there are public schools in the Czech Republic. Now, for you to know if it is private or public, it is not my duty as a YouTuber. It is now your duty. When you identify some of these schools, if you want to know if it's private or public, you can just go on Google. All these details will come out for you, and from there I think it's a great way for you to identify which one you want to go. But like I said, it's always important for you to put all those details into consideration before you start the application. Check thoroughly, because it's not every time that admissions is open. It's not every time that some programs are going to be open in the Czech Republic. I always say this all the time. Then also understand that some countries, this is now during visa application, there are some countries around the world, Africa, Asia especially, most especially, that they don't have the embassy, so you will have to go to certain countries to apply for visa. Also understand that when it comes to documentations, most African countries and some Asian countries, you will need to do your documents in a special way. You have to do a process called super legalization, where you go with your documents to your ministry. From the ministry you go to foreign affairs, from foreign affairs you go to embassy, and embassy you take it to public notary. Now what usually happens with this process is, let me try to explain a little here so that you actually understand. When you are trying to apply to the Czech Republic with their documents, they do not need your original documents. No, what you need to do basically is you need to use your originals, of course, to do the application. But remember, when you are submitting the application online, before I proceed, there is a central platform you will use. If you really want to find all the universities in the Czech Republic, you are going to use studyinczechrepublic.cz. that should be the website you can use. All right, as soon as you type this website, you are going to get many details that you didn't know, almost all the schools. Then you now take the schools one after the other to check the programs. I hope you get. Now let's go back to the documentation. For you to successfully use these documents in the Czech Republic, I'm still going to make another video where I break it down slowly so you understand. You need to first of all take the documents to the Ministry of Education for them to sign and stamp them. Then you take them again to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for them to sign and stamp them. Then you now go for super legalization at the level of the Czech embassy. Okay, Czech embassy now will do its own signatures and stamp at the back of the documents, right? Then you bring the documents back. What you do now, you photocopy the documents, then you take the photocopy to the public notary, because the ministry, the embassy and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will do it on originals. Then now you come, you take the documents, you photocopy them, then you take it to a lawyer or public notary to then notarize it. Then you now send the copies to the Czech Republic, because some schools will want to see this before they can give you admission. Others may not need it. Very few schools do not need that particular process. So without you sending your documents to them for the evaluation, you are not doing good to yourself. So please put all of this into consideration. Like I said, you photocopy them after you've done everything, then you notarize it. This thing is usually done by public notary or a lawyer. I think public notaries, lawyers, but anyways, you can always find them in your home country. So After that, you now send to the Czech Republic. Then if they evaluate to see what you can study, what they are going to be teaching, what you've learned before, they will now send your admissions letter to that address that I mentioned to you before. So you have to be very strategic in everything you are doing. Then also remember that most universities have entrance exam in the Czech Republic, and this entrance exams is usually mathematics, English, and I think physics and chemistry, but most of the time mathematics and English. So note this before you start the application, and always check the websites thoroughly. Then also understand that some other schools may not have entrance exam, but they may do what is called interview. They might just interview you. Now for the entrance exam, it's usually online. Then for those who are doing interview, online interview, they might just do an interview for you, like most PhD programs. Like I think PhD at the Czech University of Life Sciences and the University of Pardubice, I think so, yeah, or Masaryk University. They usually do interviews. Sometimes no, Masaryk has an entrance exam. Then for Pardubice and Czech University of Life Sciences, they have what we call interview for PhD students, because their PhD is free of charge. They pay you money monthly to study PhD in these two institutions. To study in the Czech Republic, you have to pay tuition fee before you apply for visa. When it comes to this tuition fee payment, if you do not pay, you cannot apply to visa. And I think there is only one school, except that the procedures have changed now. I used to know that you can go into the Czech Republic, you can apply for your visa, go into the Czech Republic before you start paying tuition. The school is Masaryk University. So you may need to check again to be sure. What are the documents that you are going to use to apply for this admission? Most of the time, your high school documents, if you are going for bachelor's, and which include your WAEC, your O levels, your A levels, your WASI, depending on the country in which you had those documents in. Remember, let me say something here about this. If you studied in Ghana, you have to legalize your documents at the ministry. First, you authenticate them, then you legalize them. For you to do the authentication at the various ministries or foreign affairs, you have to do it only in the country in which you had the document. So if you had your documents in Ghana, and now you reside in Qatar or United Arab Emirates, you need to send those documents back. If you had your degree in Cameroon, the University of Boya, and now you are in maybe in a place like maybe Lebanon, you need to send the documents back to Cameroon for it to be done. It now depends on you to verify if you can send someone or the embassy can accept somebody. I'm still going to talk about all of that, so please pay attention to every detail. Then in addition to that, to the requirements, I think if you are going for masters, you need your bachelor's degree, your bachelor's transcript. Some schools do not accept HND. In fact, I don't know any school that accept HND. But if you have HND and postgraduate diploma, you may talk to the school and they might accept you. It's very important. Talk to the school, they might accept you for masters. Some will not accept you for masters, so you will have to do bachelor's again. Then you also need your CV and motivation letter. Most schools will ask for this as their requirements, primary requirements. Okay, most of the schools will ask for it. Then like I said, some programs may not start on the same date of application. Like at Czech University of Life Sciences, most of the programs do not start the same time. So this is the process. I'm still going to talk about so many things here. I will still break it down slowly. What you also need to understand about some universities, let me give you a list of few schools in the Czech Republic you can consider. You can take Czech University of Life Sciences. You can take the University of Hradec Králové. You can take Masaryk University. I will put some links in the video description box. Please verify to see which one is actually okay for you. Like I said, if you check and the admissions is not open, prepare yourself and start checking again November, December, January, February, March, April next year. Let's talk about the visa application process, which is the next thing you need to do after you've gotten admissions to study in any Czech university or in the Czech Republic. First of all, before I even talk about the visa process, remember that when it comes to the Czech Republic, your admissions letter will be sent electronically to you, while another copy will be sent via the post office. It's not every school that have this particular procedure. Some may just end up giving you just an electronic copy, so you can then download it and use it for visa application, right? Now let's talk about the visa process in detail. I would like to draw your attention to the fact that there is an embassy in Ghana and there is an embassy in Nigeria. But I know the embassy in Nigeria is in charge of about 8 to 9 countries, while the embassy in Ghana is in charge of about 6 African countries. So for you to actually apply, you need now to do your own research, then know the country that you are going to move to. For Cameroonians, you have to go to Nigeria. Then for Togolese, you have to go to Nigeria as well. For those going to Ghana, I do not know. Probably Liberians will also be going to Ghana. Please check again. Normally, there is a Czech embassy in Cameroon. I talk as a Cameroonian, and there is no visa application. You can only do super legalization there, but all the details you are going to get them from the embassy's website. That's why I'm telling you now. So please put all of this into consideration. Then when it comes, remember we have talked about the embassy issue. Now when it comes to visa process, the Czech Republic is actually different when it comes to these processes. I do not know why it is that way, but again, it is what it is. Remember, before it used to be the student mode of application, okay, but now the procedure is different. You basically have 10 slots now for every month, and from what I've noticed is that every 15th of every month, like when it's the 15th of every month, 8 a.m. Central East time, you have to book an appointment. Okay, and there is a system you have to use to book that appointment. I think you have to write an email attaching your passport number, your admission letter, and of course some other details to the embassy. And that does not mean that when you send this email you are going to get an appointment. It's not the way it is, but you can easily get it. But if you follow the rules, because you are not the only one booking. Imagine an embassy carrying 9 countries. How is that? That's even why I was telling somebody that he shouldn't just focus only on the Czech Republic. He should be looking at other places, so that at the end of the day you should have variety of options, like many options to choose or select from. So it's very important for us to make this decision. I always just come here to explain these things to you and to guide you so that you don't put yourselves in one basket. It's so important. Then that is for the appointment booking. When you book the appointment now, you have to go to the embassy with your documents, and the other documents include your proof of funds, academic credentials, the originals, and probably the certified copies. Then you go with your medical insurance and police character. This is what you need to do in order to actually succeed when it comes to this study abroad thing to the Czech Republic. Okay, how much is the proof of funds? Let me talk about the proof of funds, because I realize that many people are asking me what they need to do about the proof of funds. Before, you could have a sponsor, but right now, from the information I've seen, you cannot be sponsored again. Like, you can be sponsored, but you cannot use your sponsor's bank statement. So now you only need to generate your own bank statement or use your own bank account. For proof of funds to the Czech Republic, you need at least 115,400. I think let's just take it to 115,500 Czech crown, which is approximately 4,700 euros, depending on the country and the exchange rate. But I would just say it should be at least 5,000 euros. You cannot convert to your own local currency and see how much you need to CFA francs to maybe Nigerian naira. And now that the naira has lost a lot of value, you should also put this into consideration. You are going to get double the amount. Then also remember that this money needs to be in your bank account. I know why I'm talking about this. Even if you check, you are going to realize that you cannot have your sponsor's account. If you want to risk it, which is something I would never advise you to do. If the embassy says you can only sponsor yourself, please prepare to sponsor yourself. If they say you shouldn't have a sponsor, follow the instructions so that at the end of the day you don't lose your visa and blame people. So what you need to do is to try to get the money in your account. Even if your sponsor is giving you a 3 months bank statement, is a lot enough.